Welcome to the On Deck podcast presented by Linestar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann, ready to break down the slate of games for today. We finally got a big slate. I know yesterday was just, we had the two night games, Field of Dreams games.
Shout out to Julian, though. It was a nice little change of
Julian,
space.
we had a great time talking to him about the Padres, some interesting points he made about
Padres chat.
I was very interested, like you mentioned yesterday, about the locker room and how that's how they're going to gel.
Yeah.
And how important that is going to be.
I was definitely a little worried about there not being a leader in that clubhouse, and it sounds like there may not be. However, I do guess after I read this this morning, in the last game, there was a first inning home run by the opposing team, and Juan Soto came in the dugout right after and was just like yelling at everybody.
Okay.
So maybe Soto's trying to step up.
Stepping it up.
We'll see.
Well, today is Friday, August 12th. It is World Elephant Day. And I love it. Who doesn't love elephants? Yeah. There's the world's largest land animal, as I was reading about it today.
Shout out to my mom. Her favorite animal.
Her favorite animal. It's a good animal. Yeah. Isn't it I think it's, elephants are good luck in a lot of cultures. And I also read that they spend probably 3/4 of their day just eating.
Yeah, good for that.
Not a bad life to live.
To be that big, I would assume that's what you have to do.
All you do is eat constantly.
Yeah. Eat and chill.
Yeah. Well, speaking of eat, the Dodgers are looking for a 10-game win streak. They're looking to add to it. Going to Kansas City. The Cardinals welcome the Brewers, leading them by 1 game for first place. That'll be a good series. And, of course, we mentioned Juan Soto. He's back in the nation's capital, perhaps looking for a little revenge. Maybe not so much revenge. I mean, he wanted to go to the Padres.
You know,
right?
it's nice for him, too. He can maybe pack up a couple things at his house.
You know, yeah.
You know, he had to leave so quickly before, and now he finally actually gets to pack up.
That is something that's probably underreported. It's just like, I would love to just see the logistics of how that all comes together so quick. I know a lot of it falls onto spouses, and they're just like, okay, we got to move tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's figure out, we got to find a condo.
Spouses, agents, all that. Yep. One of my friends, he used to work for Scott Boras, actually. And when there was a trade and stuff, he would have to get sent to wherever that city was they got traded to help with like find housing and do all that kind of stuff. And like get their kind of team together to do that stuff for the guy.
That's crazy. So there's a whole team in place that does
like
that.
A whole team in place just for that.
Sometimes I feel like where was my team when I moved down here?
Get
me all squared away.
You and your dad just got it covered.
Got it done.
You know? Shout out to Don.
Yep. Help me move in here. All right. Let's get to today's slate. Before we do, though, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. If you're listening to us, we appreciate you guys listening to us wherever you listen to your podcast. Give us a review or let us know how we're doing.
Hey, before we get into this, what do you think of our best ball draft last night?
So last night, you know, it was my mom's birthday. We went out to dinner, nice dinner. And so we come home and I'm like, hey, you know, it's still a little early in the night. Are we going to fire up some
Underdog
Hulu
best ball
or Netflix? Nope. And so I was texting Tyler, what you up to? And he says, that's a best ball draft, I think. And I said, okay, it's sold. I'm in. So we did a best ball draft. We ended up in the same draft.
We sure did.
It was awesome. Had a good time with that.
Only a couple picks apart.
You know, I hate having back-to-back picks, though. That was the worst.
Yeah. Shannon was 12. I think I was 10.
It was not fun. Yeah. You did all right? You like your team?
I like my team.
It's fun. Best ball's so addictive, though.
I blew it once. It is. It's fun to draft.
Yeah.
And then, like, you know, throughout the season, it's no work. You know, you just occasionally get to look, see how you're doing, and move on with your day.
If you're wondering what we're talking about with best ball and you haven't played before, you got to check out Underdog's best ball contest. Every year they have it, and the winner gets $2 million. So what it is basically, all it is a fantasy football draft. It's just the draft, and then during the season, it just tallies up your points. Yeah. Based on the maximum you can possibly get from that lineup that you drafted. Yeah. And so you don't have to do anything during the season.
Yeah, you don't have to set your lineup. They set it for you weekly on your best possible lineup. So
and then the winner
it's fun.
Can make a lot of money. So
it's also great to get ready for your home leagues because it's not like a mock draft. Like half the time if you do a mock draft, like nobody's
caring. Everyone's on,
auto
select.
So it just doesn't do that well. Yeah. Whereas best ball, at least you get an idea of kind of what people are thinking. And,
with the strategies and whatnot. Yeah. So we'll drop the link to that below. And remember, for Underdog, use the promo code LineStar, and users who deposit at least $10 can get up to $100 matched, plus a 3 free month subscription to LineStar. So.
Hey, and I'm going to throw it out there.
Okay.
If you guys want to get into a best ball draft, we could probably set it up so we can all join you. Maybe we can get a little group. It'd be fun.
The On Deck podcast draft.
It'd be a fun one. Let us know in the comments. We can set something like that up.
That would be fun. All right, so let's get back to baseball today. Yeah. We'll talk about our daily fantasy slate for today. It's a big one, 13 games. And for our high-owned pitchers for today, we're going to take a look at where the field is headed for their pitchers. And the first guy we're going to look at is Giants lefty Carlos Rodon going up against the Pirates. Mm-hmm. Now, he is 42% owned on DraftKings, 25% owned on FanDuel. Now, this game is in San Francisco, where Rodon has a sub-2 ERA. Last time he faced the Pirates, he held them to just 2 hits and 8 scoreless frames while racking up 8 strikeouts. Since then, the Pirates haven't gotten any better at the plate. So a favorable matchup given the ownership is where it is for Rodon. Do you like this play for daily fantasy today?
I especially like it on FanDuel where he's a lot less owned. But I do like it. It's good, really good pitcher at home where he's even better versus a poor offense. So you got to like that. 28% combined K rate, 4.5 alert score. Highest LineStar projection. I think there's a lot of factors going in his favor, and you got to like it.
Okay. Next up is Mad Max. He's on the bump today going up against the Phillies. 39% owned on DraftKings, 36% owned on FanDuel. 1.98 ERA, 200 opponent average. Hasn't given up more than 2 runs since May. Ironically enough, that game he gave up more than 2 runs was against the Phillies. Last game held the Braves to 4 hits in 7 scoreless frames with 11 strikeouts. I mean, dude is just on fire and just dealing.
Yeah, he has been great. The one thing I would have to say, though, I'll start it off with the bad, is that in 3 starts versus Philly this year, he's only averaging 20.67 fantasy points on DraftKings.
Okay.
Which on FanDuel, that would relate to not a very high price or score for his price also. But we do have a 25% combined K rate for him, 3.5 alert score. It is Max Scherzer. He is great in all aspects.
Right.
You just have to worry about Philly a little bit. They can't strike out a lot, but they can put the bat on the ball and, put up some runs.
Yeah, and in the past, they have gotten to Scherzer before. So
They have. Overall, the BVP numbers are pretty good versus Philly, but, this year he hasn't been great against him. And if you look at all the starts versus Philly, there's only a couple really, kind of ceiling games for him.
All right. White Sox righty Michael Kopeck going up against the Tigers today. He's 28% owned on DraftKings, 17% owned on FanDuel. He's got a 3.38 ERA, 2.04 opponent average. Now, he did have a rough outing at the Rangers, gave up 4 3 1/3 the last game. However, it's another situation of a favorable matchup for him today where he will likely rebound against an anemic Tigers offense.
If you're a righty against the Tigers, you got to at least look at it. Kopeck started the year on absolute fire, but he just hasn't been good lately. 5.4 FIP over his last 5. He also doesn't have a great K rate, 20% over the last 20 and only 15% over the last 5. So that 15% does scare me a little bit. It is the Tigers. They are bad. I can see going either way with that one. Don't love it. Don't hate it. I think maybe he's going a little higher owned than he should, but with the matchup, I get it.
Low-owned pitchers for today in daily fantasy. We'll start off with Mike Levinger going up against the Nationals. He's 11% owned on DraftKings and 4% owned on FanDuel. So nice low ownership numbers for him today. 3.60 ERA, 2.26 opponent average. Last outing, though, versus the Dodgers did get to him. 5 earned runs in 4 2/3. However, the Nationals, a much, I guess, potent offense now that Juan Soto's with the Padres.
Clev has shown some really nice upside on mediocre or poor offenses, and Washington fits that mold. Obviously, in the post-Bell Soto days. But super low WOBA and ISO, so aren't a great hitting offense. Clev has a 23% K rate, and with his price point, it shows a decent upside here. So I do like Clev. He's going low owned. It's kind of a nice little leverage spot there.
All right. Let's talk about Cardinals lefty Jordan Montgomery going up against the Brewers. Weird to say his name as a Cardinal.
And what's funny, too, is how much less excited you were about it.
Exactly.
All year when you say Jordan Montgomery, you're excited.
Well,
and now
part
it's like,
of that is he held the Yankees to just 2 hits and 5 scoreless in his first game as a Cardinal against the Yankees. And he is 14% owned on DraftKings today, 2% on FanDuel. He's got a 3.53 ERA this season and a 2.32 opponent average, so some respectable numbers there. Now, what do you expect from him today going up against the Brewers? Now, this is a big battle for these two squads.
It is a big battle. Montgomery is the highest-rated value pitcher on the slate for us. We have a 5-star alert score, 25.8% K rate, and at his price point, that's a really high number. So I think you got to kind of look there. Great high upside for his price. Like I said, really good StatCast data with him. And the Milwaukee Brewers offense is kind of meh versus lefties. So I like this, especially if the field isn't really going there.
Yeah, Gumby's a good pitcher. He was solid for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Gotta respect him
sad
there.
to see him go.
Yeah. Twins righty Tyler Mahle going up against the Angels. This is at Anaheim. 22% owned on DraftKings, 2% owned on FanDuel. Now, 4.49 ERA, nothing, to write home about. 2.32 opponent average, pretty good. What do you see from him today against? We do. I feel like this is a broken record at this point, talking about a pitcher going up against the Angels.
Yeah, and I have been really good about the Tyler bumps this season. And so I got to be careful when I bring up a Tyler, but I like where he's at this year.
So he gets the Tyler bump.
He's getting the Tyler bump. He's been way better in away games this year with his new team. I expect that to continue. A 1.89 opponent batting average on the road and striking out 10.1 batters per 9. So really nice upside in the K department there. Angels strike out a lot. They're a lackluster offense with a combined K rate at 25%. I think there is a lot to like here. And he finally could have some run support.
Yeah, there you go. Man, every time I pick on the Angels, it almost pains me as a baseball fan to see them so bad.
It's crazy.
With Shohei and Trout.
Yeah.
Well.
Hopefully Trout's
healthy.
Back.
Yeah.
Gets better.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our stacks for today. We'll first take a look at the high-owned stacks, and there's no surprise with this one because there's a Coors Field game, everybody. Yeah. The D-backs are at the Rockies, and for the Rockies, it'll be the righty Antonio Senzatella. He's got a 4.68 ERA, 3.51 opponent average. Now, some weird things with Senzatella. His ERA, I believe, is actually better at home, but his opponent average is a little bit higher. Yeah. So, but he hasn't. He's just one of these rare breeds of pitchers that kind of doesn't do horribly at Coors Field.
Yes, but his opponent batting average in Colorado is 3.61. So
he might have been getting a little lucky.
He's got to be getting a little bit lucky. No surprise, Arizona being the highest owned. But not only is the game in Coors, it's also the best hitting weather on the slate. So obviously ownership has to be attracted to that. And Arizona has some crazy good BVP numbers for Senzatella. 112 plate attempts. They're hitting 415 with 5 home runs and a 274 ISO. We have an implied total of 6. So a lot of reasons to go with Arizona.
On the other side of that matchup, we've got Colorado going up against D-backs righty Zach Davies, who we haven't really spoken about since the whole story came out about how he ghosted his wife for over a year.
Zach, the Ghoster
Davies. Have gotten a divorce since then. His ERA is 4.03, 2.33 opponent average. Now, last time against Colorado, he held them scoreless through 5, but that was in Arizona. This one's at Coors Field. Do you expect him to get blown up today at Coors?
Yeah, so I looked back to see how he's been in his career at Coors, and he's been right around his career averages. So it hasn't shown a huge effect for him personally. Yeah. However, we have super good hitting weather in Coors, so I think you have to take that into consideration. We have weather like this, not in Coors. Pitchers have a tough time.
Yeah.
This one's super warm, winds blowing out in Coors. So you got to take that into effect. The Colorado is slightly lower owned than Arizona, so it's interesting. But of the two teams, I definitely like the Arizona offense a little bit better. Implied total 6.1. Davies has okay games, and then he has blow-up games. Yeah. So I could go either way on this one.
All right, well, let's get to some low-owned stacks and see where we can get a little leverage. The first team we're going to talk about is the Padres. They're at the Nationals. It's going to be, the righty Corey Abbott on the hill for them. Yeah. Now, Abbott hasn't gone too deep into games. Last outing gave up 7 earned runs, including 4 home runs against the Phillies. Just got absolutely shelled.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about a Padres team that's almost full strength.
With the Bell and Soto revenge narrative. Ooh. But Abbott hasn't been good in the majors. He wasn't good in the minors. He's giving up to lefties. 9.5% of the plate attempts are going for a home run. Righties number is still high with 7.6% to righties. Super dangerous lineup, full with righties and lefties. You got to be kind of worried about Abbott. He's allowing a ton of barrel balls, 63% fly balls, 5.4 implied total really isn't too far off the implied totals of Colorado and Arizona. So I think it's really interesting, especially at way less ownership.
Astros going up against A's righty Adam Oller, 7.63 ERA and a 300 average. That's enough when you look at a great offense like the Astros. Those numbers are enough to sign me up for this one.
Yeah, he's allowing a ton of hard contact, a lot of barreled balls, really high average exit velocity. He has a 7.3 FIP. Like, there's not much going in his favor. 5.5 implied total. Again, this is another implied total that's similar to Colorado and Arizona. So I don't think this slate is a situation where you need to go to Coors, even though the hitting weather is super nice.
Yeah.
I obviously do like Coors, but there are other ways to go.
We don't need it in our life if we want to win, right?
Yeah, exactly. And Oller's allowed at least 3 runs in his last 4 starts, 2 of which were against Houston, and he has 6 home runs over those last 4 starts. So he's allowed a lot of home runs. Houston's done well versus him.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Exactly. All right. Now it's time for our sleeper play of the day. First, I need to mention that all those ownership numbers that we just talked about are available on the LineStar app, so be sure to check out linestarapp.com to get all the info you need to dominate your fantasy team. We've got daily fantasy optimizer so that you can have it build your lineup for you, and you could do our daily matchup tool that tells you all the best matchups of the day. This is not just for baseball, it's for football. I know football season's coming up too, so be sure to check it out. linestarapp.com right now. Lock in your subscription at just $19.99 per month. That price will go up for football season, so you want to lock it in now before football starts, and you can start dominating daily fantasy in all of the sports.
Get in.
We're going to use the LineStar app to pick out our sleeper picks of the day. Here we go. Our sleeper pick of the day on DraftKings is going to be J.D. Davis. The Giants' third baseman is going up against Pittsburgh's Bryce Wilson today. Pulling up his player card for today, we can see he's $2,200 on DraftKings. And check this out in his player card, 24 fantasy points the other day. He was 3 for 4, 2 runs, a home run, and an RBI there. So a little bit hot. He's got a 3-star alert in his player card there. Wind is blowing out to left at 11 miles an hour. We like that. Wilson is 243rd against righty bats, giving up 2.12 fantasy points per plate appearance. Plus, you have a Pittsburgh bullpen that's 25th against righty bats, giving up 2.21 fantasy points per plate appearance. So that spells good things for today's matchup for J.D. Davis. So plug him into your lineup at $2,200 on DraftKings. Now let's take a look at our sleeper pick of the day in FanDuel. And again, sorting by value in the Linestar app, we can see it's Yasmani Grandal going up against Daniel Norris of the Detroit Tigers. He's $2,100 on FanDuel. And if you pull up his card, we can see a lot of Linestar users already liking him today for their lineups. And he delivered a homer yesterday. 28 fantasy points is what he scored yesterday, the 11th. Check it. You can see where his that blue number 28 his fantasy points. That purple number, if you're wondering, is just our projection for him. So you can see he's exceeded that the past 2 games. Now, looking at his alert score here, they like him because he basically scored 20 fantasy points past 2 games. Can't really argue with that. And also in a good situation there. This is a home game, 5 fantasy points per game in 16 home games, 6.61 over 33 games. So some good numbers there. Yasmani Grandal coming in at $2,100. A great play, especially if you want to get in maybe some of those Coors Field bats or some of those more expensive ones. Plug it into your lineup. Remember, all of this information is available for you at the Linestar app, linestarapp.com. Check it out today. Now it's time for our home run calls of the day. Who's going yard today? Tyler, who you got for your home run call today?
I'm going to be a homer.
All right.
We're going a Juan Soto revenge bomb. Abbott is giving up 3.6 home runs per 9 and lefties are hitting a home run off him in 9.5 of their plate appearances. Juan Soto going back to Washington. He's going yard today.
All right. I'm going Jose Ramirez. Now, Jose Ramirez is a switch hitter who does better as a lefty bat against righties. Now, he's going up against Toronto Blue Jays' Jose Berrios, who has the highest home run per 9 rate among qualified pitchers. Combine that with the fact that Toronto, as a bullpen, gives up the third highest home run per 9 rate in all of baseball. That equation spells a J-Ram Bam. We're going Jose Ramirez for a bomb today.
I like it.
I was very tempted, though, to go Aaron Judge today. He's got a pretty solid matchup. A lot of those Yankees bats looking pretty good today going up against Nathan Eovaldi, who also has a very high home run.
Eovaldi likes to give up a couple bombs.
I'm just saying. But I am, in fact, going J-Ram. Let's go to prop bets of the day. Guess what, Tyler? We both hit our props yesterday, which means one lucky commenter on our YouTube video gets $60 cash, just like that. So
let's
the winner is
spin the wheel here and
spin the randomizer wheel.
Yep.
And it is Lisandro Gutierrez. You are our winner of the $60 for our prop bets contest. Congratulations.
Congrats.
You can reach out to us via Twitter DM or in the comments of our YouTube video, and we will get you squared away with a nice prize. If you also want to be a winner for today's contest, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment on our YouTube channel. That's it. Or to this particular video. So with that being said, you can also tailor props if you want to win money on there as well. Because if you put it on yesterday, you would have won some money. So you can find our props. They're available on the Underdog Sports app. Now, Underdog is available in most states. So even if it's not necessarily, sports betting isn't legal, it's considered a fantasy sports game. So be sure to download that app and you can get in all your prop bets and tail us. Or, you can fade us too. We won't be too mad about it. But you should definitely tail us today.
You got to do you.
So new users who deposit at least $10 on Underdog Sports can get up to $100 matched. So free money there. Use promo code LineStar, and you can also get 3 free months of LineStar to help you dominate fantasy. So a lot of great deals there for you, but let's just get right to it. Our prop bets for today on this Friday. Let's end the week strong, Tyler. Who you got for your prop?
I'm going with our FanDuel sleeper pick Yasmani Grandal for over 0.5 hits. Grandal's hitting 370 over the last week, and he has a 5-game hitting streak. He has a decent matchup today, and I think he's going to make it a 6-game hitting streak, and we're going to make some money.
Let's get it, Yaz. I'm going with Ezekiel Duran, the Texas Rangers infielder, over 0.5 hits on Underdog, and that is actually minus 150 in some of the sports books, so you're getting really good value in Underdog. Now, he's hit this in 14 of the last 19 games. It's a nice matchup for him today against Seattle Mariners righty George Kirby, who gives up a 321 average to righty bats, kind of a reverse split situation here, because then Duran also does better against right-handed pitching as a righty bat, so that bodes well for him today. And he's got a hot bat, batting nearly 300 over the past week, so the Duranimal will get a hit today, over 0.5 hits on Underdog Sports app. Let's get it.
I think these props are straight cash.
Let's go. Download the Underdog Sports app today. Link is below. Oh, good show for today.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about our props for today. It's Friday. I'm feeling good about it.
That's crazy.
I'm also proud of us for hitting our props yesterday, given that we had such a small slate to choose from. You know, we just... Yeah. Doing good.
Just straight
and
fire.
It's 3 in a row, correct? Well, not really 3 in a row. 2 in a row, because the day before was...
Yeah, we got...
rained out.
Postponed.
We got rained out on our props.
Yep.
So.
We got a good old PPD on the props. So
Great slate for today.
We got 2 in a row. We're going for 3. We're heating up, trying to get on fire. Love it. NBA Jam rules. That's what we go by.
Let's go. Good luck to you guys in daily fantasy and all your prop betting. We will see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys.